everyone, it's Bradley, and I'm just here with a quick video to show you how to store pollen for future use if you're cross-pollinating. In this video, I'm going to be talking specifically about amaryllis. So the past few days, mine have started to bloom indoors. I have like 5 different cultivars blooming at once. This is the dancing queen. It's sort of a malformed flower. The bulb itself has 2 stalks coming up, but at the very bottom it had this, and I thought it was kind of strange, but I cut it just to kind of keep it in my room. And I was thinking to myself, like, gosh, if they don't come up at the same time, I'm going to have to store the pollen. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, this cultivar of amaryllis I love so much because to me it's lightly fragrant. I just hit my pipe. I vape, so I can't really I have that guava in my mouth right now. On the range that I personally use to identify fragrance intensity for flowers is slight, light, moderate, strong, and intense. Slight is not the same thing as light to me. Light is something that's consistently fragrant, just very, very mild, like sweet alyssum or something like this, I would say. Whereas slight is something more sublime, like my cherry blossoms, where you don't always detect it when you put your nose at any given time in a flower. And I feel like cherry blossoms are like that. And sometimes they'll be so strong, I'll catch it on the wind. And then other times, like I'll put my nose in the flower and I won't smell anything, and other times I will. This is lightly fragrant to me. And I think there's other cultivars of amaryllis that are also lightly fragrant. Out of the 5 cultivars I have that are about to bloom, Clown is the one that I've heard reputed to be slightly or lightly fragrant. And I was just thinking today, like, gosh, those are definitely, I was wondering which ones I would cross because I knew I wanted to cross-pollinate them. On my Etsy shop, I actually have seeds for sale right now. If you're interested, I crossed a Mont Blanc with a Red Lion. So if you're interested in that, it's a beautiful red and all white. And hopefully, those seeds can create hybrids for you if you're interested in planting amaryllis from seed. They're incredible flowers, and the bulbs, the foliage, I love amaryllis so much, which is interesting for me, aromanescence, because amaryllis are not fragrant flowers. They're just incredibly big and bold and beautiful. However, Dancing Queen is lightly fragrant. And I'm really hoping the Clown is too, like crossing my fingers, because I love the idea of like introducing fragrance back into some new type or something, but you never know. So yeah, I was thinking I'm going to cross-pollinate them, but the Dancing Queen it might not bloom at the same time as the Clown. I mean, those stalks, both of them are about to open, the buds. One of them already is, whereas the Clown's just kind of the stalks coming up. So if you're going to be storing pollen for the long term and you want to use pollen several years from now, I think that's a little different. That's when people freeze it. I personally am not going to be doing that. It's over a period of 1 to 2 months that I'm planning on storing them. I'm going to just put mine in the fridge. So I'm also a jeweler, in case you can't tell right here. And I have these little containers that I used for nose studs, and I thought that would be good. But you can use something like a Ziploc baggie. In this one right here, it's some silica gel, which helps to keep the pollen from desiccating because you don't want moisture getting into it. You could leave it at room temperature. I don't know how long that will last, even in a sealed container. I'm going to probably put mine in the fridge here, but I'm only going to be keeping it for a few weeks or a month at the most, really, I think. And I just have 5 that I'm going to be collecting pollen from and storing it just in case they're not blooming at the same time. But I also think I do want to store them long term. So I'm not sure. If I do that, then I'll freeze it. So just get some silica gel. If you don't have that, I got it off Amazon. I cut one open and just put a few of the beads in here. And then what I'm going to do is take this flower, this amaryllis. So this particular flower, this amaryllis, is a male. It does not have a pistil. The pistil is the part of the amaryllis that receives the pollen. It's like in the center of all of these anthers or stamen. I don't know the terms too well, but the stamen is what's holding the pollen. I believe it's these things. I don't know if you could see it from there, but each one has pollen on it. The pistil is typically in the center, and it's just this big white open looking thing. And you typically, when you're cross-pollinating, you paint it with a paintbrush, or I just take the anthers and I just douse it all over it. But yeah, this one doesn't have one. It just has the pollen, the stamen. So what I'm going to do is cut each one. I would use some clean snippers too. So I'm going to see if that will fit. Yeah, so that way I can get like tweezers and I could still pull it out and use this to kind of like dab on the pistil of the amaryllis. In this case, it'll be clown that I'm planning on doing that with. Oh, that's like lightly fragrant to me. I love that, man. Dancing Queen Amaryllis is fragrant. It's lightly fragrant. It's just, I love this smell too. It's like, it's just this slight floral sweetness. Last year, I remember thinking it smelled like Skittles. Anyway, now what I'm going to do is, you can see the pollen in there. And I'm just going to take the lid. Now it's on those, the silica's in there. And I'm just going to take the lid and I'm going to make sure that I close it real tight so that it doesn't spill open. Now I was going to use a Sharpie, but I want to reuse these. So I'm actually going to go get a label maker real quick. Hold on. So I don't want to like mix, like tilt this up or whatever. I want to be able to like open it and just like pull them out. So I'm just going to carefully show you there. I just labeled it Dancing Queen. And I'm just going to literally just go put this in the fridge. That's all. I don't want it to get too cold. My fridges for my bulbs run a bit colder than our actual house fridge. But it's okay. I mean, I don't know that I'm actually going to be using this one. But if I don't, I might move it to the freezer. I actually think that, you know, you could potentially store one even in the fridge. Who knows, like up to months, maybe even a year. I don't know if it's done right. Really, all you're doing is kind of like over time lessening its ability to pollinate, like effectively create a pollination. So that's really like the worst that's going to happen is that it doesn't do anything. But like if you collect enough of them, you never know, and you just really douse it on there and you store it in the fridge, you know, and you use it hopefully as soon as you can. It will work. And I definitely know that right now that if I used it even a month to 2 months from now, like it will work absolutely, hands down. So anyway, yeah, if you're going to be storing any kind of pollen, that's the way to do it, or freeze it if you want to use it, store it, or use it long term. I'm going to keep these for the other cultivars I have. I'm probably going to store them too. You never know. If I do decide I'm going to keep them for long term, I have a feeling I'm probably just going to leave them in the fridge. And I guess I'll find out, though, if they work in the future. Anyway, hope this was informative. And if I get to cross Clown and Dancing Queen, hopefully I can let you know about it. I'd love to. I do know that if that pollination, I do get that, which I'm sure I will. I'm going to put those seeds on my Etsy shop as well, because those are ones that I'm definitely going to be sowing. But I have a Black Pearl, a Minerva, and a Magical Touch that are about to bloom. And I don't know which ones of those I want to cross, but I know I will. So anyway, yeah, thank you for watching.